You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
You know what you are? You're a popcorn salesman.
Worldwide Sports Radio presents the Home Stretch.
All right, let's hit the field.
With Tyler and friends.
Hello! Welcome to the Home Stretch. I am your host, Tyler Harrison, and I don't know why my voice always... I really feel like I'm losing my voice. But anyway, along with my co-host slash producer slash tamer, I guess, because he's got to reel me in sometimes before I go completely crazy. Speedy Petey slash Bojangles. I really think that name's gaining traction.
I hope so.
So I've already started off the year 2020, and this is what I've hit people with, right? You're now Bojangles. Errol is Heckler, and the Beeve is now Baby Yoda.
Well, no, I thought Errol was Heckler last year too. I thought we gave him.
No,
before
maybe.
I'm pretty sure we did at one of the other meeting short shows.
Yeah, right. Okay. Well, it's been within a year time frame, right?
Fair enough.
And I apologize. I didn't tell Speedy this. Hey, you know what today is?
Hold on, I can do this. The 8-year anniversary of Super Bowl 46.
No.
Yes, it is.
Well, fine and dandy, but no.
Oh, that's what we were getting at because it was related to me.
No. You now I understand why Earl gets upset. You let me down just now.
Oh,
Yes.
that's
Yes, you did. Oh, well, you can keep guessing, or do I have to tell you?
no, you could tell him.
Today is our 2-year anniversary. I've been here 3 years with you.
3 years.
Yes. I started this 3 years ago. So this is our 2-year
You
anniversary.
started in 2018.
Right. It's 2020. 2018, 19, 20. It's our 2-year anniversary. I've been here 3 years.
Oh, 3 different years, if you want to judge that. Okay.
Yes.
A total duration of about 2 years.
Right.
Okay.
So, we have...
That's what confused me because I wasn't even here at this day 2017.
Right.
I wasn't even with the network yet.
All right. I didn't realize how close we actually got here together. I thought you'd been here.
Yeah, it was only about 6 months apart.
Joy. I apologize in advance. I'm going to need a lot of water. My throat's really been clogging up lately. But, yeah, so happy anniversary, buddy.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed.
What did you get me?
What did I get you? I got you some great music for your favorite segment.
We're not doing Trade 'em now.
Oh, that's a shame.
Are we?
Well, we might at the end of the show.
Oh, crap. Do you know what we were Oh, my
Well, we might at the end
God.
of the show.
We might. Do you know what we were supposed to do today? Ah, damn. We can't do it tomorrow because they'll be here. Shoot. Friday we have to do it then. Friday we have to do the, damn, I don't remember what I call the Hall of Fame segment. So that alone.
Oh, it's Legacy something.
Legacy of Honor?
Something like that.
Was it?
Yeah, it was something like that.
All right. This is what I need from fans, okay? So, I hated whatever I called the Hall of Fame thing, right? I didn't like it, I don't think. Well, I hate it now. So, this is what I need from people, okay? Eric, Bo, Jordan, Josh, if anyone's listening, right? Snugs, you're pretty good at this. Anyone really besides Jeff and the Beeve, I'll take opinions from on this. And Errol, because Errol doesn't even like the idea. So, and what I mean by that is I wanted this show to be called something completely different. So never mind. But I need an idea or a name for this Hall of Fame thing because I don't remember it. A, that's the most important reason. But B, whatever it was, I don't think I was a huge fan of. So even you, if you have any ideas, shoot them out because I have nothing. But you are going to have to remember I have to do that Friday because the Phillies are retiring Roy Halladay's number. So
Yeah.
which is surprising. I thought Toronto would do it.
Well, the Phillies, he was a big part of.
No, I get why Philly's doing it, but I freaking wonder why Toronto didn't do it first.
I don't know.
Retards.
Well,
Anyway.
if they did it already and we don't realize, but they might have done it after he passed.
Oh, can you check that? Because I just called them retards, and that would be a terrible thing. But, as Speedy was trying to allude to about 5 minutes ago, we have a show to do. So, we must start with everything.
Yep, it already is.
Oh,
His number 32 is already retired.
I apologize, Toronto, in advance. Okay, so Eric Bowe's already on it. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Are you ready?
For your Anthony Carragher's favorite segment?
Nah, don't mention his name.
Well, he's not doing it.
He'll never do it again.
That's a shot at him.
Yeah, I know. No one on this network even has the common sense to do it. Anyway. I'm trying to think where I want to start. You know what? We'll start with hockey. There's nothing going on right now.
I think there's only 2 games, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, the Wednesday night rivalry game. Generally, there's barely any games on Wednesday. Hockey likes doing that. I don't know why. But right now, the Boston Bruins and Chicago Blackhawks. Historically, a fantastic game. Not this year, but historically, it's going to be a pretty good game most of the time. They're tied at 0. They just dropped the puck about 25, 35 seconds ago. So that's literally nothing to mention. However, most importantly, there's a game in our own backyard at Madison Square Garden, and I have a pounding headache right now. But John Tavares, yes, that Islander bastard is back. He scored for the Maple Leafs. I don't like John Tavares, so I really have no filter when it comes to that guy whatsoever. So that's the goal for Toronto, as William Nylander and Justin Hall assisted on it. And the Rangers have retaliated. Mark Stahl and Tony DeAngelo. You'll never hear that again. I have assisted on a Chittle goal. So we're tied at 1. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is it. Hockey's done. It's over with. And then we'll go to college basketball. So a lot of these games are about to be over soon. Villanova, number 10 in the nation, is trailing 53-50 to number 19 in the nation, Butler. I think Butler could make a lot of noise. Yes, I'm going to put it out there right now. I think this is going to be the year for one of the small schools.
They got 2 very nice scorers.
Yeah, I do believe that this is going to be it's going to be one of those odd years.
That whole Big East is pretty deep this year.
Oh, it's 2-1. Mika Zibanejad just scored for the Rangers. And we just
right
saw
off the face-off.
Yeah, wow, what a goal. I mean, if it helps, it's not Frederick Anderson, so.
Still.
No, that was a wicked shot.
Yeah.
That wasn't even a power play goal either.
No, just right off the face-off.
Who took the Strome? Who took the face-off?
That's what I'm trying to figure out, because Zibanejad's most of the time center. Oh, is that Kreider? Yeah, looks like it. Yeah. Wow.
Oh, my God. It's 3-1 Rangers.
All right.
Kreider just scored, too.
Wow. We'll see that very shortly. Our video.
Oh, here it comes right here. Whew. Trade. Oh, you do it. Do it.
Trade him now.
Bye. Adios. Their value has never been higher. 2 points in 5 seconds? Yeah, I'll take that. Wow. Shout out to CBS. You're working phenomenal right now.
Who would have thought?
Not me. 54-52 now. Butler over Villanova. Number 17 in the nation, Iowa, getting annihilated right now by Purdue. 66-43.
Wow.
Yeah, there is 15 minutes left in the second half in that one. So
That's a
pay
big
attention to
letdown
that.
after they just beat Illinois and their big winning streak.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. Second quarter also, here's a team that I really like too going in forward. Number 21 in the nation, Creighton. Watch them. I'm telling you now.
The Big East, yeah. It's a good division, good conference.
They're losing right now 50-45 to Providence, so that's not good. But they got 12 and a half minutes to figure that out. Number 13 in the nation is cover your ears. West Virginia is up 54-36 over Iowa State. 8:30, number 12, Seton Hall takes on Georgetown. Shortly after that, LSU takes on Vanderbilt. LSU is 18 in the nation. And then the game I think we're calling upset on. Number 5, Louisville takes on Wake Forest.
Really?
You're
calling upset on that.
Listen, I've been pretty good with these upsets.
That's
My record
that
might not
one's
be,
a stretch, though.
but they've all it's home stretch. But all my games I say upsets on are either true or they are very, very close.
All right.
And
A lot of faith in Wake Forest. All right.
no, I feel a trap coming. That's really it. That's it. And now we go to the NBA. This is an interesting game because they're trying to make a trade right now. So hold that thought. It's 64-63, Pistons over the Suns. Okay. They're trying right now, Phoenix, to get Luke Kennard off the Pistons, and the Pistons are
I
basically
saw that, yeah.
they're not happening. Your leading scorer for Detroit, I believe Derrick Rose is not playing today either. I think they're saying him. Yes, he's not playing today. Your leading scorer is Andre Drummond with 20. I cannot believe he's not traded by now. I cannot believe it. I would have traded him last week.
Deadline is tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh,
I would have traded him a while ago.
running out of time.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Here's another guy I would have traded. Your lead scorers for Phoenix are DeAndre Ayton and Kelly Oubre at 18 apiece.
You would have traded one of them?
Kelly Oubre, yes.
I don't know about that. He's
No,
still
Fit-
young.
They're
He's still
shopping
young.
him, so if they're shopping
Yeah,
him, you might as well
if
trade
they
him.
get a great offer for a guy in Oubre's had a nice year, but still, if it's still a young player that you might want to hang on to.
40-31, the Celtics over the Magic. Your leading scorer in this game is Evan Fournier, and actually a couple players have 6 for the Magic, so screw that noise. For the Boston Celtics, Jason Tatum has 11, and Jason Tatum's getting hot. So I would venture to say this Boston team is going to get better down the stretch. I'm sorry. I think Boston's really going to upset a lot of Western Conference teams' fans.
It's possible.
But my favorite to win the things, the Clippers still. So, but Boston has a great matchup against them. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Speaking of bridges, you go over the bridge, you're going to be at the Barclays Center. 54-31, Brooklyn over the Golden State Warriors. They are not playing a lot of players today. D'Angelo Russell's playing, so I guess that means he's not getting traded. They have sat Glenn Robinson and Alec Burke, so they're not getting traded. They're trying to trade those two. And then for the Brooklyn Nets, Joe Harris has 13, which is about his season average, and then Chris LeVert. No Kyrie tonight for the Nets, which it is what it is. But imagine they trade Kyrie Irving.
I doubt.
I'm just saying, I wouldn't do it, but imagine. That's why he's not playing right now. 38-37, the Pacers over the Raptors, and I'm telling you now, in about 2 weeks, this team, the Pacers, are going to get white hot. White hot. Once Oladipo gets comfortable, this team's going to take off running. I've said it.
Toronto, look at Toronto, the quietest number 2 in the East. Jeez.
Yeah, they are. I can't believe they're still winning basketball games. Leading scorer is Malcolm. Oh no, I'm sorry, Doug Buckets.
Hey.
I love Doug McDermott. That's actually why I like Creighton in the tournament. But anyway.
I'm trying to. I haven't looked this up yet. I'm curious. Butler's one of their 2 scorers I was talking about is Sean McDermott. I wonder if they're related.
Maybe.
I'm actually gonna look that up now.
And the leading scorer for the Raptors is Serge Ibaka with 10. So a weird game there. Very weird game. Doug McDermott and Ibaka the leading scorer. That's strange. where are we here? Atlanta and the Timberwolves. That trade last night is retarded. That trade that happened last night makes no sense.
For Atlanta?
No, for Atlanta, it makes a ton of sense.
No, I think
you have now two great shooters and a great rebounder. That makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Makes no sense for the Rockets.
No.
Makes no sense for any other team in that trade.
I thought Denver did all right, too.
Who'd they get?
They got Shabazz Napier, Noah Vonleh, and
those are all
Gerald Green, and a first-round pick. So I don't think they did bad.
No, the
either.
first-round pick is... Well,
I don't think they did bad either. I didn't realize that they had that much. Because, they do mess with chemistry a little bit. That's the one thing that concerns me with them. But
who they even give up? I don't
Malik Beasley and Hernan Gomez.
No, Hernan
So-
Gomez isn't much.
Yeah, but again, they were good bench players for him. So that's the one thing that concerns me. But they did well beyond that. I don't know what the Timberwolves or the Rockets were doing.
To be honest with you, I like the fact that I think the biggest piece of this puzzle is that they did get Jabari Parker. I love Jabari Parker. I think Jabari Parker is going to be special. Jabari Parker is going to be a great
He's got
player.
to stay healthy. But
Right.
By the way, they're not related.
That's unfortunate. Leading scorer for the Hawks is, by the way, John Collins. The Timberwolves' leading scorer is Karl Anthony Towns. Surprise, surprise. I like them getting Jordan Bell. I think the Timberwolves getting Jordan Bell was nice too. Jordan Bell.
Well, no, the Rockets got Jordan Bell. The Timberwolves had Jordan Bell.
Oh, so this isn't updated at all.
Yeah.
Never mind.
The
But,
Timberwolves got Evan Turner and Beasley and Hernan Gomez, and
the Timberwolves need to trade either Wiggins or Karl Anthony
they got a
Towns.
pick from the Hawks. So.
But they need to pick. Those two are not getting along. 18-16 Hawks. 16-13, the Cavs lead the Oklahoma City Thunder. Colin Sexton has 7. And Danilo Gallinari and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander have 4. So, 2 names to watch right now. Danilo Gallinari and Andre Iguodala are apparently both very close to going to the Heat separately. So, that'll be fun to watch. Yeah. That's what I just got. At 8:30, speaking of the Grizzlies, which should happen any minute now, the Grizzlies take on the Dallas Mavericks. At 9 o'clock, Denver takes on Utah. That game should be fascinating. And then at 10 o'clock, Heat take on the Clippers. I really like what the Heat are trying to do down there.
Yeah.
Dwayne Wade should unretire just to win another championship.
Ooh, that's interesting.
I would consider it if I was him. That, ladies and gentlemen, Around the World in Sports, brought to you by the Worldwide Sports Radio Network / New York Sports Scene. Check us out all over the place. And Snugs Alert. Oh, jeez. This is a long one.
Long Snugs Alert. We got 2 Snugs Alerts for the price of 1.
Yeah. Well, no, we got like 5 for the price of one. Tyler, tonight is an evening of thanks. Thanks to the Dodgers for eating that awful David Price contract and renting Mookie Betts for a year. Here's where the shade comes. Thank you for not having Baby Yoda in the studio after you said that. I could not stop staring at him and waiting for his ears to uncurl. It was very distracting. Hashtag ban Baby Yoda. Hashtag ban the Beeve. Hashtag no more Price contract. Yeah. Thank you, Snugs. I thought you'd say happy anniversary, but I guess not. It's all right. I don't really care. It's fine. Just doing what I normally do, Snugs. It's okay. You know, it's okay. I forgive you. It's good. So, a lot to get to today. We will do the off-season plan that I was supposed to do yesterday. Super Bowl's over. And it's going to be the last football thing until basically free agency starts. Well, free agency started yesterday. I know. But we're not going to go over every
Nobody can sign
single.
until March 6th or whatever
Right.
it is.
And to be honest with you, the quarterback carousel is going to happen quick. Real quick. So there's that.
There might be some guys left out, too. There's like more guys than there are spots.
Yeah. Not kidding. Mariota and Tannehill alone. Somebody's getting cut out of a spot right there. Then you got the kids getting drafted. Right. Yeah, it's gonna be rough. Phillip Rivers got kicked out. Where's he going? Derek Carr, Matt Stafford are the big names that we're trading him.
Oh my God. Enough with Derek Carr. Errol's saying the Raiders should trade Derek Carr at his highest point, which I think is ridiculous.
It depends. Depends on a few things. Depends.
Yeah.
Depends on a few things. Well, if they sign Tom Brady and somebody blows me away, then yeah, I'll do it.
Well, yeah, but shouldn't you figure that out?
Right.
Have a trade in place, not impulsively signing Tom Brady?
No, right.
Because that'll drop his value, too. Because they have to trade him at that point.
Right, but you're not trading Derek Carr if you don't know for a fact Tom Brady's coming.
Oh, yeah, but...
Derek Carr's top 11 quarterback in the league.
Yeah, but...
If he's not 10, he's 11.
That even could get in his head, too, though. So, you don't want to do that to a player, especially a player that's been a pretty consistent franchise quarterback.
I'm more blown away that Matt Stafford might get traded.
Well, it's another guy that hates the Lions organization for being as dysfunctional as they are.
So, I don't know if you know Daquan Young.
Was that the guy the Buccaneers drafted?
No,
that was Daquan Bowers.
No.
That was Daquan Bowers. Now it's the same name. Daquan Young.
He used to work for Total Pro Sports. We're trying to figure out time for him to come on and let him talk about his upcoming movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's making a movie. It's interesting. It's very interesting. But that's just in the that's weeks and weeks down the road. But so we got that. We've got the NFL award. Don't get me started on this freaking awards. Don't get me started on it. Don't even stop. Okay. So we'll break down the NFL awards. I'm sorry. I'm really not feeling it right now. My head's throbbing and my throat's going. And we might actually call this show early because if my voice goes out, what's the point? I'm trying to think. What else did I tell you?
Grizzlies.
Oh, yes.
Grizzlies, Iguodala, young player saga.
Yes, the Grizzlies, Dylan Brooks, and John Morant basically saying, Andre Iguodala, get out. We don't want you here anyway. Which I have mixed feelings about. But we'll talk about that. But by far the biggest news today is what everyone should be talking about. And more importantly, I don't really see how you could argue against it anymore, quite frankly. Today, Pete Rose announced that he is trying to get reinstated into Major League Baseball, which would obviously make him eligible for the Hall of Fame, coaching jobs, yada, yada, yada. And if you know anything about this show, you know that I think Pete Rose should already be in the Hall of Fame because he already is. If he goes to Cooperstown, he's got stuff all over the place. You can't blink without seeing something Pete Rose. He is one of the greatest baseball players to ever play the game of baseball. And to be quite honest with you, even before he had a case of reinstatement. And there it goes. So, Memphis Grizzlies send Andre Iguodala to the Miami Heat. And he will sign a 2-year, $30 million extension.
Wow. Surprised he got that much.
I'm surprised he's signing there, period, because I could have sworn he was going back to Golden State.
This year he was going to go back to Golden State?
When he would have been a free agent, I thought he would have went back to Golden State.
Well, yeah, that's why I think it's a 2-year extension. It's this year and next year for Miami, and when Golden State's back together again, he might go back after those 2 years.
Andre Iguodala going to the Heat changes a lot. Him and Justice Winslow can guard anybody. And in that division, let me tell you this right now. Outside of Boston, Milwaukee, I'm worried about Indiana because I think Oladipo will get hot. So then there's the Heat. You know, I really can't name 5 teams in the East I'm afraid of.
Right.
But we'll figure that out later. That's Especially if they get Gallinari, because then you're talking about somebody that can shoot from the outside.
Right, they need that, and they've needed that for a while. They got it a little bit with Hero now, but it's still more of a defensive and, again,
I'm surprised J.J. Redick's name ain't getting brought up more.
Team. No, because I think he's still going to be the veteran presence for the Pelicans because they know they're not going to be this bad for a while.
I guess so. I'm waiting to hear from Andre Iguodala because his tweets are always hysterical. So we're waiting on that. Because he will probably say, I'm glad I'm going to burn up Memphis or something like that.
They even play the rest of the year.
It doesn't really matter to me. I just think it'd be a funny text regardless. But
they're not badly run. They're just strangely run, that team.
They traded Mike Conley for a bag of balls.
Yeah, when Mike Conley had very little value.
He's playing pretty well.
He had a slow start, but he's playing better now.
Anyway, breaking news again.
That's why I say
great.
Strange.
Breaking news 2 days in a row. Mazel tov. Shalom. Mm-hmm. Oh, wait a minute.
Snubs alert. Or more trades alert.
No. The Rangers got 2 goals in 6 seconds, which...
Yeah.
Shalom.
That is always worth noting.
Phenomenal. Especially since it's Toronto. Yes. But yeah, so the big news says Pete Rose wants to be reinstated in Major League Baseball. To be quite honest with you, I didn't think he had a problem. I think Major League Baseball looked stupid and foolish before. Now you add that, hey, I didn't cheat. I didn't take steroids. And I'm not in the Hall of Fame for what? Now, let's just go through Major League Baseball history, shall we? Let me take you down stroll memory lane. So you get, what was it, 17, 18, 19? When's the Black Sox scandal?
1919.
1919. So players take cuts and pay cuts to lose the World Series. Okay. All those players are banned still. And I understand. Okay, I get that. Then the next big, oh my God, was Pete Rose betting on baseball, which is kind of an unwritten rule. So when he did it, it was like, well, that sucks for you. But he didn't alter the game. He didn't, you know what, we'll lose by 3 runs today. I'll put millions of dollars on that. We're up 5-5. Fastball down the middle, please. No, just trust me, he'll miss it. Oh, damn, he hit it far.
Oh, there was stealing signs.
He didn't bet on his team to lose. He bet on his team to win.
No, he still profited off it because he knew the team
Right,
was
but
good.
hold on. But you're not...
It's not like you're managing a terrible team and betting on them to win.
No, but I'm just saying he didn't... They don't want players to bet because they don't want it to affect on-the-field products. He didn't do that. It didn't affect on the field at all. 0. So, to me already, you're kind of like, I get it. Suspension, I understand. For life, I thought it was a little much. That's a little bit of a stretch. Pun intended. So, baseball is good as far as scandals go until about the late 2000s where this steroid report comes out and name drops everybody. That Balco scandal turned Major League Baseball upside down, inside out, and upside right. Major League Baseball still has barely recovered from that. It's forever giving it kind of that, you're on steroid. Let's just put it this way. That has such a black stain on baseball that people now question if Mike Trout's on HGH. That's how big of a thing this is getting. And now, and this is by far the biggest hoax of the century. The Houston Astros cheating to win a World Series and then their manager going to the Red Sox and doing the same thing is by far the worst thing that's ever happened to Major League Baseball. It's not remotely close. It's not a nothing. That is the worst thing that's ever happened to Major League Baseball. And you know what the punishment was for all the players? Nothing. Zero. All right, so what about the punishment for steroids? Nada. Zero. Oh, well, you got suspended 80 games. You cheated the sport. You enhanced your own self. And I'm not banned for life. I think my producer is going to tell me there's somebody on the phone.
Yep, your favorite caller.
Welcome to the home stretch. How may I help?
Oh, my goodness.
Snugs the cat.
I had to call in and say it in person. Happy anniversary, my friend.
Oh, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that.
2 solid years of goodness. 2 years of truth in a wilderness of questionable sports takes.
Questionable.
Well, we're being generous this evening, as it is an evening of celebration. So, but I
Shalom.
also wanted to say that I could not agree with you more, having grown up in Cincinnati and witnessed firsthand Pete Rose and his impact on the community. And he is an all-around good dude. He only bet on, like you said, to win. And enough people have died at this point, the people who really cared. Let's just let the old man in. He doesn't want to coach. He doesn't want any of that. He just wants to get in the Hall of Fame before he dies. He's
Right.
I think he's in his mid to late 80s.
Yeah, he's
that.
he's up there in age.
I mean, I think the all-time hits leader, we could cut him a little bit of slack.
Hardest
Because you
player
brought up
I've ever seen.
An interesting point. If you get caught with PEDs, you get an 80-game suspension, but it's actually in your interest to go ahead and do it, because if you're like D. Gordon and you sign a gigantic contract and then you get suspended 80 games, okay, you lost half of your pay, but you still got the rest of the contract, right?
Right.
So why would you do that? So, yeah, I couldn't agree more. They need to let Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame. As we've gone past, 25, 30 years since it actually happened, in retrospect, it really appears to be quite insignificant.
Well, not only that, my bigger takeaway is how could you penalize Pete Rose for telling you, hey, listen, this is what I did, and they suspend him for life, but the Houston Astros players do something worse. Yeah, you're right. He's 78 years old. And the Astro players don't get suspended an inning. I think that's kind of a joke. The Astro scandal to me is a lot worse. A lot worse.
Well, the one sticking point that people hang their hat on is, oh, he lied for 15 years and said he didn't do it. Well, what's he gonna say? You know what I mean? It's like Shaggy told us. You always deny everything. It wasn't me. And then eventually he decided that he needed the money from a book, so he came clean. And that's left a poor taste in people's mouths. But you kind of got to understand Charlie Hustle. He's committed to anything he does 100%. So even if it's lying, he's committed to it 100%.
Now, I didn't actually know you grew up in Cincinnati.
I was there the night before. I was like 7 years old, and I was there the night before he got the hit that broke the record. I was sick. He went like 0 for 3 or something like that.
Oh, that's a terrible story.
Wow.
It is.
Now, my question for you would be, since you kind of have a heartfelt attachment to this, what does the city of Cincinnati actually feel about Pete Rose?
Oh, they still love him. They'll always. He used to do crazy things. Like, I remember when I was a kid, he donated a tiger to the zoo, and just weird things like that. Like, he was all about Cincinnati.
Now we know the origin of their football team.
Well, I'm sure that's exactly what happened. But anyway, the community loves him. Everyone was in shock when it first came out, but Cincinnati would put him in a heartbeat. I didn't think anything of it. And I think that it feels like people are just being petty by not letting him in at this point.
Beyond
it's
petty.
like he wants it too bad.
Not for nothing, and I'm sure Cincinnati and you especially know this. Pete Rose loves baseball. The sport, he lives it, he breathes it, he absolutely cherishes it. I think the happiest man I've ever seen talk about sports was him when Fox gave him the job. next to A-Rod and Ortiz and Thomas and everything like that. When he's on that TV show, he seems like a kid in a candy shop.
Oh, he was
Probably
great with the
embracing it.
fans.
Yeah.
He would sign autographs before the game, every game. I mean, he was never. You know, he loved being a baseball player. He loved everything about the experience, and he loved to make sure that the fans got an opportunity to enjoy it with him.
Now, I don't know if you know this. Pete Rose Jr. actually used to play for the Ducks. The Long Island
Pete Rose
Ducks.
Jr. played for the Phillies.
Yes.
Pete Rose Jr. played for a couple MLB teams, but he was not very good.
No, he did not get his father's, unfortunately, the skill set of his father. But, yes, he did used to play for the Long Island Ducks, which is about 20 minutes from where we're actually doing this show right now.
Oh, I love everything about the Long Island Ducks. I used to celebrate them with Earl all the time, and he would just tell me I was an idiot.
Well, he's not. You know, it is what it is, Snuggs. I don't. I believe Pete Rose Jr. had a little bit of a troubled past. Yes, he did. Nope. So I was wrong. Nope, that's fine. I was looking something up. I know he had a couple of run-ins with the law.
Well, I mean, you know, it's better than running into Ray Fosse.
Is that the catcher he ran over?
That's the one he basically demolished his career.
Oh.
Ray Fosse is actually the announcer for the A's out here, and he's still a little bitter about it.
So you're in Oakland?
I'm outside of Sacramento, so I'm about 2 hours if there's no traffic.
Oh, so you were near the Kobe site.
No, I was probably 6-7 hours away.
Oh. It's that big of a state, huh?
Yeah.
California, if you drive from tip to tip, take about 15 hours.
That's what she said.
Well, your girlfriend's one lucky lady.
She won't think so.
Bring her on the show. I'll tell her as much.
She was on the show.
When was she on the show?
When was she on the show? Like months ago. She doesn't.
It was during the summer.
She doesn't really like to talk.
Yeah,
much.
it was one of the first weeks in this location. It's probably late August or something like that.
If you really want to have some fun, back in the day, Earl's girlfriend used to be on the show all the time, before Brittany.
Uh-oh.
And Earl used to get really mad at me because we actually became friends over Periscope. And so she and I would chat the whole show, and he would get mad.
What would you say, Snugs?
Oh, we would talk about all of our favorite snack foods.
Oh,
And that would
cupcakes.
make Earl angry because we would talk about Doritos and French fries and shit like
Stuff
that.
he couldn't eat. He was probably on some diet at the time, or he claimed he was.
Well, she was not supposed to be eating these things, so that was part. I think I was a bad influence.
Oh. So you're torturing her, is what I'm hearing.
Well, no, she did eat these things when he wasn't around.
Errol, that's
I thought
not
you meant
very
she
nice.
was like fasting or something and couldn't do it, or she was on some
She
kind
wasn't
of program.
supposed to do it because he wanted her to lose 5 pounds or something. I don't know. I can't remember what it was. It was a couple years ago. This was like back when they were in their basement with Mikey C, and it was even pre-Speedy.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Oh, those are the Conor McGregor days.
Oh, the Conor McGregor days were epic. The entire country of Ireland rallied against Earl.
Well, that's a fellow Irishman in the room. The Irish are back. Conor McGregor lives in New York City.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, if you could see some of the early replays. Yeah,
I've looked. I can't find them anywhere. I've looked for this.
Oh, they were.
I want to find them
They
so
were-
bad.
Well, let's just put it this way. Mikey C used to sit and read the Periscope the whole time, and then we'd make him laugh, and he'd get in trouble on air for laughing.
I can see it.
Yeah, those were.
Lord knows he doesn't talk much.
I've been with the network since SportsOnTheGo1.com. I can even sing the song.
Go, shoot.
SportsOnTheGo1.com.
That was it?
Yeah, that was pretty much it.
Jesus Lord. That's crazy.
Well, it was
That's
more
better than my
painful.
drop.
Perhaps the song was inappropriate. I oversold it.
No, it was inappropriate. It wasn't. Why would you mess with Brandon Lemieux? Brandon Lemieux's like, you want to go, pal? I'll drop you right here. But, yeah.
They are the Leafs.
Now, now my question, Snugs, obviously it's a celebration, as you said. Do you have a favorite moment from this show?
From your show?
Yes.
Oh, goodness, there's so many favorite moments. I think my favorite moment, God, I've got several.
Yeah, we got plenty of time.
They're all throwing shade moments. So the first time you addressed him as the heckler,
Yeah,
that was
a
one of my
classic.
favorites. I love that. I laughed out loud for a while. I actually made my wife watch that one, and she too laughed. I did love as recently as last week, the Bojangles reference.
Sorry, Speedy.
Also a big hit. I love that. And then yesterday, I mean, only a day ago, Baby Yoda. I lost it on that one. Yeah, I laughed for a long time. Again, I made my wife watch that one. She looked at her and she goes, "Oh my God, he does kind of look like Baby Yoda." I said, "He's not as smart as Yoda, but he does look like him. He might be his cousin or something." So, those are probably some of my favorite moments. Are when you go a little off script and you come up with these brilliant things, and they make me howl with laughter. You enjoy a sense of humor in your show and a lightness that you and Speedy both embrace that other shows don't seem to adopt all the time.
No.
Like people like Mike Guido just screaming whatever insane thing. My favorite's still that baseball defense doesn't matter. That's
Don't.
almost as
Oh,
that's Baby Yoda territory.
yes. Yes.
But
And it's an offensive driven league in football. Being wild.
so the real question is, though, in the 2 years, what is your favorite moment on the show?
Oh, boy. You know, that is a good question. That is a very good question. I don't actually.
I don't mind.
Oh shoot, this is gonna be great.
No, this is the best one. Let's see, who was it? It was you. Let me see if I get this right. So our last mock draft show.
Oh no.
In 20,
Why am I afraid?
In 2018.
Oh.
No. It's not anything that happened to you. It was.
I know, but I'm afraid to remember this.
No, it was funny because this was 2018, and I had the Panthers.
Yes.
And
I know exactly what you're about to do. Yes.
Renee had the Seahawks, and he let Guido trade up for Calvin Ridley, and then you and I guess it was and Dylan, I think it was. I don't know who had the idea, but you came over and gave the idea of, you want to trade the picks? You want to come up Carolina? Because I said they should draft Calvin Ridley, and they had the chance to, and didn't. But whatever.
Right.
But when you traded up, I just laughed hysterically, and they got so mad.
Oh my God, I do remember that. That was great. That was, to be quite honest with you, I had no idea about doing it until Dylan was like, "Why don't you just trade with Tyler?" I was like, "Oh my God, that's brilliant." That's freaking brilliant.
Yeah, because
okay.
I was
We'll
trying
do that.
I was trying to just get the pick before,
We'll do
and then
that.
they went to 18th. I'm like, all right, sounds good.
Yeah, that's definitely up there.
That draft was crazy though, because Renee also annoyed you by giving the Patriots Lamar Jackson. Which you flipped out over. But that was funnier, though, because it just happened so suddenly. It was like 20 seconds on the break. Like, yeah, okay. All right. Sounds good.
Yeah. No, but I definitely I don't know.
That was still my favorite that I can remember.
Yeah, once you said the draft, I was like, oh, okay, I think I know where he's going with this. I don't know, Stunks. That's a good question. I don't actually. I'll be honest. I don't really. Very rarely do I actually go home and be like, that was great, that was good. I don't think ever when we leave here oh, that was awesome. I'm always like, God damn it, I went off topic. God damn it, this didn't happen. This didn't happen. I'm very weird about that. I don't enjoy. I don't enjoy the ride, I guess you can say. Does that make sense? I want the best show possible, and I very rarely feel like I get there. My favorite moment, I don't know. I mean, the Kobe show in recent memory was probably special, just because it wasn't scripted and it was just kind of like a 2-hour salute, you know. I don't know.
I also loved that you encouraged Speedy to have a glorious night.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
I'll live on forever.
That's a co-favorite moment between you and Speedy, though.
Right?
Oh, you know what was good? You know what was good? I'm thinking of NFL segments because you guys do a lot of them. That Christmas NFL thing that we did a couple of years ago, that was fun, too. And we just had so many funny answers for everything. For each team.
Oh, yeah.
We give a gift
list.
to each team.
Yeah.
We had a lot of really funny answers to that.
Yeah, that was good. That was funny. I remember that. Because Guido went somewhere, right? So I had to, yeah.
Right. I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think it was you. I think you and Renee and me, I think, were on. And then the Polar Opposites guys, I think, came in later or something.
Who the hell are they?
The show that used to exist here, but now doesn't.
No. We don't mention them. No. They could go fly kites for all I care.
Well, yeah, but they came in that night. I think they came on for a couple teams before their show. But that was funny the way that happened.
So the question is, going forward, what excitement do we have to look forward to?
Oh man, I'll be honest. Tomorrow's show, I'm a little annoyed because my show always gets hit with these meeting things. But once, do you remember Eric, Josh, and Jordan?
Mm-hmm.
So those three guys, I take that back. My favorite moments are yelling at Mike Guido for being a dumbass. Those are definitely my favorite moments. But I have to be honest. I really hate having a soliloquy show. I like yelling at people. I like debating with people. I mean, the yelling part doesn't have to happen. That's just my temperament. But I enjoy a debate of sorts, and I think that once. Oh no, Justice Winslow is going to Memphis.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That is very interesting. That's just bad. Miami might have gave up too much. Huh, interesting. You got an older version of Justice Winslow.
No, they need the veteran leadership for a playoff
No, I know.
team,
I like the trade, but that would have been a tremendous defensive team. But anyway. Yeah, I once these guys and me start syncing together, I think you're going to see a really good show. For those of you who don't like my show by myself, I don't blame you. I don't enjoy doing it that much. But again, I'm very hard on myself, and I'm very hard on the network, and I'm very hard on me. So I probably am the bad judge of whether I've had a good 2 years or not. But yeah, I think you guys can look forward to a really well-led show with a lot of banter and debating, but it's going to take a few weeks to get there because they're new and I'm kind of used to doing it my own way. And right now with everyone's schedules, and it's just hard to get everybody here at once. But that once everything starts coming together, that me and them are going to be. I already think I'm the best show on the network, but me and with them, we're going to run over people.
I agree. I think it'll be good. Now, I think if you really want to have some fun, what if you put the meeting on Periscope? I think the fans always love to see what goes on behind the scenes.
They do. They do. I would also love it. However, I don't know if announcing this on air and then me doing it would be a great idea by Errol Marks' standpoint.
I feel as though you might be implicated.
Yeah. Even if it wasn't announced on air, I would probably be the first one implicated anyway.
Oh, I need to move to New York.
Yeah, you do. Yes, you do.
That would be amazing.
You should. I don't know what you're waiting for.
Give me the right job offer. I offered Earl that I would become the, general manager and president of the Worldwide Earl Network, but he did not seem interested. So
He wants what?
I told him I would be the president and general manager of the Worldwide Earl Network, but he didn't seem all that interested in employing me. So,
I mean, I'll hire you if it helps.
okay, well, you send over the salary offer, and we'll hash it out. I'm sure we can reach an agreement.
Yeah, sure. I've got like 10 cents.
Not a problem.
I've got like 10 cents for a 5-minute thing.
If you cover the travel cost, I will accept the 10 cents.
How much do you think the travel cost would be?
Well, from California to New York, probably round trip. You don't want me there that long, so 2 days, maybe 3. That's probably $800 to $1,000.
Oh. Yeah, we're gonna have to work this out with lawyers, I think.
That's okay. Yeah, I think the network is working on the budget for me to come out next year.
Yeah. Yes. I would say so.
I'll stay at Speedy's house.
There you go.
But Speedy, I will not make obscene comments about your mother like other hosts on the network have.
It was one joke, Snugs. I apologize for it, and we moved on.
They weren't referring to you.
There's another host who frequently makes inappropriate comments.
Oh.
And we will leave it at that.
Does he heckle people?
Perhaps.
Oh.
Occasionally.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Well, as long as we're all on the same page.
So, with that, gentlemen, I must take my leave. I am going to go eat some dinner with my wife. So, anyway, excellent 2 years, sir. Thank you.
Oh,
Here's to 100 more. Keep throwing the shade. Keep fighting with people. Keep pressing the envelope because that's what makes the show great.
Oh, thank you, Snugs. I appreciate you. With fans like you, I can do this forever.
Oh, that would be awesome. And keep up the Bojangles, Flash Baby Yoda, hecklers, and I'm sure Mike Guido must have a name of some sort.
Oh, he's got tons. Which one do you want to know first?
Please, all of them. That gentleman is.
There's Patty Mac. There's Texas Toast Head. There's.
Oh, that hair, man! I just want to know if it actually moves.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't budge.
He's got like Ken doll hair.
It does not move.
It's weatherproof.
It's living proof. It doesn't move.
He's protected against hammer blows to the head.
He is a hammerhead.
So you breathe underwater.
What? No, if he just smacks that thing into something, it's gonna break. Boom.
You need to limit his access in the aquarium.
Oh man, I know the haystack's really one of his nicknames. I didn't give it to him, but it stuck.
Was he a wrestler or something?
Haystack Calhoun. Yep. The guy came to him and goes, he was one ugly MFer. You're the haystack. I heard that story. I was like, that's not something you should tell people. It's not. There's minigun. There's so much.
I think he's quite the character.
Is he?
If he was a henchman, he would be like the tickler to the heckler.
No, I would. No. I always thought he was kind of a vanilla.
You think so?
I called him, what I used to call him, yogurt.
Are you insulting yogurt exactly?
No.
Ah.
No, I'm saying like he's just plain as yogurt. Vanilla.
Oh, Yoda and yogurt.
Yeah, I could see that. That makes sense.
Baby yogurt. It doesn't exist yet, but it probably will soon.
No, there's a form of there's a type of yogurt that you give children.
Not the context I was going for, but okay.
No, all right. No, I knew what you were doing, but it's all right. We'll get. I'm just more proud of you for belching out the trade him now and the
trade him now.
Jesus, not now. And
yeah.
the
Be cautious on trading people impulsively. I agree.
And of course, who doesn't love Hop Hog, New York?
Hop Hog. I don't have to say it anymore, I guess, because it's no longer like a live cafe thing. But god damn, I really never figured out the zip code here. It wasn't a joke. I really have no idea what it is. 0. No freaking clue.
I actually looked it up
it could
once.
start with
it was
0.
like 11768 or something.
Oh, shoot. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. 11768. It's been discovered. We're moving soon, so don't worry about it. But here you go. If you want to send me love or hate mail, that's where it goes. But yeah, it's been an interesting 2 years. Very interesting. And by the way, I know someone's been trying to call. You can call back. We're going to take a break when Snugs and his wife consume dinner. But again, the number to call is 845-478-3272. Thank you again, Snugs, for calling in, man. Appreciate it.
Always a pleasure, gentlemen. Here's to 10 more years. Have a good one.
Oh, you too. So long. I should have asked him what he was having for dinner.
Now we'll never know.
Sacramento crab cakes. How much you want to bet they're crab cakes?
Could be.
Never would have got that one. Anyway, so we will come back again just to wrap up the Pete Rose thing. I think it's an absolute joke that the Houston Astros players get to not be suspended at all because they gave up, the whole operations, and Pete Rose bet on baseball, denied it, didn't matter. They still suspended him for life anyway. But if you go to the Hall of Fame and you're a big baseball guy, there's no doubt in your mind Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. And to be quite honest with you, knowing how petty writers are, even when they do reinstate him, he won't get in first ballot. That's just the nature of the
Did he
beast.
ever have eligibility?
No, because he was a player manager.
Okay.
And then when they banned him for life, he was actually still
All right.
managing. So I don't think he ever made it. But holy crap! The Rangers scored again? Wow. I'm just gonna say this now. Watch out next year for these Rangers. They are playing better every single night, and it's really not even a debate that they might be one of the teams that have grown the most from opening night till now. And they still don't have a defenseman, but so Buchnevich is going to be special. But anyway, yeah, Pete Rose, I think, should be reinstated. And I also would vote him in first ballot. He deserves to have that Hall of Fame speech. And if the Kobe Bryant thing taught us anything, we should get over silly little things, right? Move on. Grow. Adapt. So thank you for Snugs for calling. If you were calling this show before, I can guess who it was. You're more than welcome to call back. Trying to think of what else we have on the agenda, Speedy.
Off-season awards. Which one?
We'll go with the awards. So up next,
Okay,
I will.
Basically, you yelling at Lamar Jackson.
I'm not yelling at Lamar Jackson. This is a hoax. This is a joke. We go over the NFL awards next on the home stretch.
You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
And now the baseball team.
Little League.
Fantasy League.
We are back with the home stretch on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Hello, welcome back to the home stretch. I am your host, Tyler Harrison, along with Mr. Bojangles / Speedy P, for those of you who just got confused. So what we're doing right now is the NFL honors ceremony over the weekend was the day before the Super Bowl. Some of them I agree with, some of them I really don't have a huge argument about, so I'm not really going to hinder on all of them. But a few of the big ones are going to be touched on right now. Like, for example, the fact Nick Bosa wasn't unanimous Rookie of the Year for the defensive side of the football, it's a joke. Absolute
You think he
crime.
should have been unanimous?
Yes.
Josh Allen was very good too.
Yeah, but
He
Nick
had 11,
Bosa.
he had
Nick
11
Bosa,
sacks with not as much playing time. He just wasn't a good run stopper.
Nick Bosa was it. The assistant of the year, I probably wouldn't have given it to Greg Roman, personally speaking. Spagnuolo or Salah should have got it for me. Coach of the year.
That's fair.
Coach of the year. Sean Payton getting a vote is disrespectful. Sean McDermott should have got more than 2 votes. Mike Tomlin didn't deserve. Well, no, he does. Mike
did.
Tomlin deserved 2 coach.
He did.
Matt LaFleur didn't deserve anything.
Really?
No, not really.
Wow.
Team was great. On paper, it was supposed to do what it did.
Not 13-3.
What did you have them? 11-5.
I had them 10-6, I believe. They had talent, but they had a lot of weaknesses too.
Well, Shanahan, I thought Shanahan and Harbaugh both deserved a tremendous amount of votes. And
I thought Shanahan should have won. I think he did more with less.
No, me too. But again, John Harbaugh winning, I understand, so that's fine. Again, Nick Bosa winning Rookie of the Year defensively, I have no problem with. Comeback Player of the Year, I think it should have went to Jimmy G. But again, Ryan Tannehill was the best quarterback from when he took over the Titans to get knocked out in the AFC Championship game.
I actually disagree with both of those. I would have given it to Darren Waller. Look how he had to come back from. He was a practice squad tight end that had trouble off the field, and he was nothing. All of a sudden, he blossoms into a top 5 performance tight end in football. That's, in terms of the drastic improvement. Isn't that what the comeback player is supposed to be?
Yeah, probably.
I would have given it to him. I think it was not supposed to be anything.
Offensive Player of the Year, I probably would have given it to Christian McCaffrey, personally speaking. But again,
I think Thomas deserved that.
But I don't complain about Michael Thomas because I think that they were 1 and 2.
I just think the difference is him still putting up great numbers with a backup quarterback half the year is pretty impressive.
Yeah. No, I agree with that too. But if you're going to do it by that logic, then Christian McCaffrey carried the offense. So
no, I understand that. It was definitely those two definitively. I just think it's not like Thomas just led the league in receiving. Thomas was he had the single season all-time receiving record, and he had a yardage mark that was very close to the all-time record with that. It's not like he just led the league in receiving at, say, 1,540 yards or something like that. He had an insane, almost record-setting year in every category, and he definitely had one in the catch record.
No, I understand. I get where you're coming from with that. So, my big ones, ladies and gentlemen. Defensive Player of the Year, I would have voted for Stephon Gilmore, but if you wanted it to be Chandler Jones, I get your argument, and I understand.
I thought it should have been T.J. Watt.
Chandler Jones was the best pass rusher in football. So
he was, but I think
Chandler Jones.
Right, but if you're looking at defensive player, Watt had, I think, 3 interceptions. He improved a lot in coverage. He had 8 forced fumbles, which is insane in itself. I think he was just a little better, I think, all around and then the whole season. And I wasn't a big fan of him normally, but he had a phenomenal year. I thought he deserved it more. Because you're right, Jones was a great pass rusher, but I think Watt did a little more as a whole. And
that's
still,
fine, but
and still had
Stephon
the
Gilmore
sacks,
shut
too.
down half the field every week.
That's fair.
Stephon
Gilmore was the best performance corner, I think, for sure. I just think 8 forced fumbles in itself is insane. You don't see defensive players get seasons like that hardly ever.
I understand, but I do agree with it being Gilmore. I think Stephon Gilmore I think it was his to lose. So, for those of you keeping track at home, what problem could I possibly have? We just ran through all of them, right? No, we didn't. AP NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year and AP NFL MVP we did not go talk about at all either. It went to Kyler Murray, Rookie of the Year. We're going to start there because I already know what the other argument's going to be, so that's fine. Kyler Murray went 5-10-1 as a starter, which is suitable. 64% completion percentage, which is not bad for a rookie. 3,700 yards, 20 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. I don't know. I don't really like that too much.
What were the rushing numbers, though?
The rushing numbers for Kyler Murray.
That can make a difference, too, but I don't think he ran as much as people thought he would.
No, he really did not. His highest rushing total was 11 carries. And he didn't rush for 100 yards yet this year. His highest.
No, I didn't expect him to do that either, but I would have imagined he would have, him instinctually.
He ran for 544 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, I would have thought him instinctively would have run more than he did.
And I think that's why he had such an off year, because I think he tried to prove to people, this is what I'm going to. I'll give credit to Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson has stayed true to his strengths. But Kyler Murray.
Tough to stay in the pocket or wait on a throw with that offensive line.
Right. Again, well, this is a team that gave up on Josh Rosen, so I'm not really overly concerned. I got 2 guys, one of which didn't even finish in the top voting. And the guy that I think everyone thought would win it should have won it. So we're just going to run down the ballot here. Kyler Murray won with 26.5 votes. Josh Jacobs had 13. A.J. Brown had 9.5, and Miles Sanders got a vote. Miles Sanders had a great season. I don't think he played enough.
He didn't play enough, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Just a crowded backfield.
Yeah. Well, not only that, he wasn't going to play at all until the injuries happened. So that's one thing. I personally don't think A.J. Brown should have been the wide receiver on this list.
Why not? He had a really good year.
He did have a really good year.
He had a good second half, too, which is
so
important.
DK Metcalf.
I think both of them are kind of the same, though, when you look at them in terms of they both at the beginning of the season, first maybe 6 or 7 weeks, where they had their flashes, but they were inconsistent. And then you look at it, Metcalf really evolved into a bigger target. But I think statistically, Brown was a little more consistent with what he did, and it still was a big play threat too. It's not like he was just a traditional receiver.
I'm not taking away from him.
But I think that's why he got where he did. And I know Ryan Tannehill had that big second half, but Ryan Tannehill and Russell Wilson are way far apart in terms of a quarterback level. So judge that accordingly too. With that, I just think Jacobs deserved it more than Brown did for the sole purpose of he was more consistent throughout the year.
So, all right, I see what people are talking about with A.J. Brown. And A.J. Brown, I apologize. I didn't think he had over 1,000 yards. Mm-hmm. DK Metcalf had more catches. But A.J. Brown has more yards, and the touchdowns are basically even, 7 and 8, so you can't really discriminate against that. But I like A.J. Brown. I thought A.J. Brown was the second best receiver in that draft behind DK Metcalf. But DK Metcalf, I think, when you look at what Seattle does, and this is another thing that people have to understand, Tyler Lockett, first of all, he's an elite wide receiver, so we can stop that nonsense. But Tyler Lockett is Russell Wilson's Julian Edelman, I guess you could say.
I think he's different. I think he's he's
Hold
more
on.
of a complicated route guy.
What I mean by that is when Russell Wilson gets in a tight spot, he's looking for him and he's throwing him the football, whether it's a tight throw or not. So DK Metcalf is not going to get the same amount of looks in the game as A.J. Brown is, because Ryan Tannehill is going to look at A.J. Brown. There's no wide receiver outside of Corey Davis on that team that makes you go, yeah. And even, to be honest with you, about, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 games after Tannehill took over, A.J. Brown became the one there. So
I think he's better than Corey Davis is.
I agree. That's what I'm saying. So DK Metcalf, he has less yards. The touchdowns we're not really debating, and more catches. But he didn't get as many looks. I don't think. Well, let's just take a look at it. Targets. He had 100 targets, and how many targets did A.J. Brown have? 84. All right, never mind. So, all right. A.J. Brown probably deserved it more than DK Metcalf, so I apologize. But, wow, I'm surprised he had that many. Really? That many targets. That's surprising. All right, never mind. So, all right, I understand now why A.J. Brown got the vote over DK Metcalf, but I agree both of them deserved it over Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
And again, me and you agree on that too. Josh Jacobs, to me, should have won the award. Right. Josh Jacobs, during the draft, said he's a Raider. It will happen. Everyone said it's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. You just sign Lynch and you have Doug Martin there. Why would you?
The reason it didn't make sense is they needed so much on defense. I thought there was all defense in that draft.
Say what you want. Mike Mayock nailed the draft. Max Crosby, Jacobs, Farrell. Well,
he was all right.
Yeah, but you probably should have went with Josh Allen first. Neither here nor there. Josh Jacobs took. He had an average start against Denver, ran amok against Kansas City, had a bad game against Miami, an okay game against Indianapolis, and then really after that, he kind of just took the league by storm. Ran amok on the Bears and Packers, ran amok against the Lions, which their run defense is pretty good.
No, it's not. Their
ran
inside run defense
twice actually.
Their run defense is all right, but it's better inside than it is outside.
In Cincinnati.
And Jacobs is a better outside runner.
Sure. But, again, we agree Josh Jacobs, to me, should have won the award. So, Josh Jacobs, guess what you are? You are the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Nah, screw it. I'm not going to give this company that much credit. You're going to be the home stretch AP Rookie of the Year. How's that sound?
Wouldn't it be the home stretch TH Rookie of the Year?
Oh, I guess I can't use Associated Press, right? Yeah, TH. That's fine. So, sorry, Kyler Murray. You finished third, I guess, behind A.J. Brown. Well, that's it, right? That's the only gripe I had this whole time. I'm going to be quite honest with you. Rookie of the Year to me wasn't really the Rookie of the Year made me go, are you kidding, the most? So let me just, before we really get started on this, MVP to me means, and I get it, okay? You can't just look at, you have to look at win-loss. You have to look at a lot of different things, and I understand that. I do get it. But this league, and I called this happening. I was not wrong. I knew who they were going to give it to, and I knew that he was going to get it. The fact Russell Wilson didn't reserve a single vote in the process is an absolute sham. It's a joke. It's unacceptable, quite frankly. So what we're talking about now is, let's just go through this, okay? Lamar Jackson was 13-2 last year. Russell Wilson was 11-5. That division in the West is a lot harder than it is in the AFC North.
Brutal schedule, too, there this year.
Oh, brutal. So the completion percentage is exactly the same as 66.1. And that's even because I think Russell Wilson got a little too trigger happy at the end of the year because his running game disappeared. He was at 80% halfway through the season, or somewhere close. He was on pace to beat Breeze's record. The yards, this is to me where we start getting crazy. 3,100 yards for Lamar Jackson, 4,100 yards for Russell Wilson. That's a 1,000-yard difference. He ran for 1,000 yards. All right. So let's just take a quick look at this, right?
Russell Wilson at 375. It was like 375 rushing yards.
Okay, and Lamar Jackson ran for
342 rushing yards. 3 touchdowns on 75 rushes.
And Lamar Jackson ran for 1,206.
And I think 5 rushing touchdowns.
So Russell Wilson still had more cumulative yardage than Lamar Jackson, even when you add the rushing totals in. So that's that. Touchdowns, 36-6. Okay.
That's, yeah. So Jackson.
31-5 for Wilson.
No, 3.
I said 31-5. I'm looking at it right here, Speedy. 31 touchdowns, 5 picks for Russell.
Oh, I think it meant 31 pass touchdowns, 5 rushing touchdowns.
Oh, no. 36 touchdowns for Lamar Jackson, 6 picks.
Okay.
From Lamar Jackson, and how many did he rush for? He rushed for, probably ran for double.
I think it was 5 rushing touchdowns.
7. He ran for 7.
Okay.
So, I get it. He generated about 43 touchdowns, okay, for the Ravens. Russell Wilson generated
34.
Now, when you look at that, that is a very... I have to be honest here. The NFL... And don't kid yourself. This is a huge thing. Pat Mahomes, right? Last year, what did everyone say about Pat Mahomes? Kid's special. He's great. He's the greatest quarterback we've ever seen, talent-wise. His arm is this. His abilities to do this and that or this. The guys, you couldn't have drawn up a more perfect quarterback. Is basically what people are saying. His rookie year, or his second year, however you want to go about doing it. Lamar Jackson, last year, his hands are too small. He fumbles too much. They don't really throw the football adequately when he's in the freaking game. He should have been benched for Joe Flacco in the second half. People were very concerned about Lamar Jackson. Now, this year, no one bashed Pat Mahomes, nothing like that, even though Pat Mahomes did have a very slow season to me.
He had a couple dud games. I wouldn't say a slow season.
The MRI he has this week on his knee, I think, is going to show more problems than people think. But again,
I don't think so. He shuffled around very well.
No, I think I'm not
playoff
saying
games.
damage, but I think people will go, "Oh wow, he played all season with that." Blah blah blah. I don't
Maybe
think
a sprained knee. I don't know about anything.
He'll probably need some sort of surgery to repair something, but that's fine. You know, Andy Reid on a 4th and 1 made his quarterback.
I don't even think it was 1. I think it was like 3 or something like that.
Yeah,
it was something ridiculously, why would you quarterback sneak situation.
Yeah, against a meaningless team that the game meant nothing, so whatever. Doesn't even matter. So, and if you're really, let's look at that too, you know. So, even so, the guy wins MVP. Oh, what the? It's so frustrating.
CBS peaked in the beginning of the show.
No, it's not even peaking. It's just everything about this is driving me nuts. Every time I want to prove a point, this happens. It is annoying that this happens so much. Ugh. Oh, that's great. That's just lovely. That's just great. Anyway, so yeah. I do not believe for a second that Lamar Jackson should have been a unanimous MVP. I don't think he should have even won MVP at all. My vote would be for Russell Wilson, 99 out of 100 times. And to be quite honest with you, Pat Mahomes would have been the other one. I don't see how Pat Mahomes didn't get a single vote.
Probably because a couple of those dud games. I think that held him back. Lamar Jackson really didn't have a dud game. And
I'm glad you just said that.
Well, okay, you're going to bring up the playoffs, but it's a regular season award.
No, that's fine. So here's what happened, right? Miami, he attempted 20 passes. He 85. Yeah, they
were up 35-0 at halftime.
No, I understand that he threw 5 touchdowns. That's great, tremendous job. Arizona, 64%. Yeah, right. That's good.
Arizona, I think, actually stopped his running and threw the ball well against Arizona.
No, that's fine. Kansas City. Okay, Super Bowl champs. 43 attempts. 51% completion percentage. 267 yards on a single touchdown. 70 quarterback rating. That was his first big game of the year.
Yeah, I think
so. That's a dud right there.
I think the Chiefs' game plan was let him run and we'll stop the pass.
He threw the ball 43 times, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What did he rush for? Because I thought he had a good rushing yardage total in that game.
Well, they lost 28-33, so it doesn't matter. Next week against Cleveland, threw the ball 34 times.
Oh, never mind. You're right. Yeah, it was the other way around. Okay, so they stopped his running, and then 374 yards, three touchdowns. That's not a dud. I wouldn't. Oh wait, no, that's Mahomes. I'm looking at Mahomes stats.
He had a terrible game. So, again, he goes into next week to Cleveland. 24-34, 70% completion percentage. I get it. 247 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. At home, you should play better than that. That's a dud to me. Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
at Pittsburgh.
That's a dud.
That's a dud.
I can see those numbers.
That's a dud.
Bad.
Cincinnati. That's a dud. At Seattle.
152 rushing yards is not a dud.
What? What game are you looking at?
Cincinnati.
Okay.
152 rushing yards?
He's a
Most
quarterback.
running backs don't get
He's a
that.
quarterback.
Okay.
He's a quarterback. I don't give a damn about the rushing stats. You're a quarterback.
That's part of his game.
That's fine. 63 completion percentage, 236 yards on 21 attempts, on 21 completions is awful. And then 0-0. Okay. Now here comes 2 duds, right? 9 completions, 20 attempts against the Seattle Seahawks for 143 yards. Dud.
While still rushing for 116 yards.
Dud.
And a touchdown.
Please stop. Please.
And a lot of key runs at the end of that
Please
game.
stop. Please. Use common sense. I very rarely ask you to use common sense. Think. He is a quarterback who just won unanimous MVP.
I'm not saying he should have been unanimous.
He should have been MVP. So, if you want to say he should have been
That's fine, but not
runner-up,
every
fine.
game's a dud.
New England.
I wouldn't call those
I would
games
consider
duds.
that a dud. I would consider that a dud. Just me. I would. I know he won the football game, but I would consider it a dud. Then he goes on a tear against Cincinnati, Houston, and the Rams. And the Ram game, completely understand. San Francisco, 14 of 23, 105 yards and a touchdown. No, to me, that's no. Buffalo, another top-end defense. 16 of 25, 145 yards, 3 touchdowns and a pick. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of in between. You got the 3 touchdowns, but yeah.
Kills the Jets. No surprise. No Jamal Adams, no C.J. Mosley. I don't even think Tremaine Johnson played in that football game. And then Cleveland again.
The way he played, it's probably a good thing.
And then Cleveland again. Got it. Oh, wait a minute. The most important game of his career. 31 of 59, 365, a touchdown, 2 picks, sacked 4 times.
Yeah, that doesn't count for the MVP, though. It's a regular season award.
I get it.
We're not saying that Lamar Jackson's a better quarterback than Russell Wilson or Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, whoever argues that's out of their minds.
Yeah, I don't think anyone said that, but he was either him or Russell Wilson was the MVP.
So I counted about 4 duds, right? Here's Russell
Right,
Wilson's
I counted
dud.
2, if you want to use my terminology, because you consider the Seahawks one.
Russell Wilson had a dud against the Ravens. Okay. He had a dud against the Ravens. That's the first dud of the year. And then, to me, the Philly game you can consider a dud.
Arizona Week 16, I would consider a dud. 16-31, 169, 1 touchdown.
Yes, I would
Yikes.
consider that a dud too. And
Yeah,
then,
Philly.
honestly,
Philly.
I said Philly. So that's what, 3?
The first week of the season, 195, 2 touchdowns. That's not great. Against the Bengals.
But here's the other thing you have to consider.
Atlanta.
Unlike the Ravens,
Atlanta.
their running backs actually have to run the football.
That's fair. Atlanta, 182, 2 touchdowns against a defense they were the worst defense in the first half of the season.
70% completion percentage for 2 touchdowns. I don't know how you don't consider that great.
182 yards. I don't know.
Lamar Jackson had
You always complain he only threw the ball 20 times for Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games this year. He threw 100-something yards. 6. Russell Wilson had 1, 2. One of which is against an Arizona team.
3.
That's
First
no.
week of the season.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see
Cincinnati.
the Atlanta one. So that's
And
3.
Atlanta, yeah.
So he had literally half as many dud games to me as Lamar Jackson. And again, the game plan from Pete Carroll very simply was we are going to control the clock and Russell Wilson is going to beat you with his intelligence.
Right.
Okay, here's to me the game that should have given it to him. 406 yards against the Saints for 2 touchdowns.
They almost came back in the game. They were down, I think, 33-14 or something like that?
Right.
Yeah.
To me, that's a clincher. Let's see what else. Tampa Bay, 378, 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, that was a crazy game. Too.
That was a great game.
The Bucs came back and tied it. It was very back and forth.
Against the
And Seattle
Panthers.
won in overtime.
6 incompletions, 2 touchdowns for 286. Or, how about this one? The last game of the year against Philly, 18 of 30, which is average at best.
That's their first
For
playoff
325.
game. That was their first playoff game.
Oh, yeah, it was. Yeah, all right.
325 and a touchdown.
Right. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I got the Philly games mixed up. They played twice. Sorry. But, again, I do think that the postseason needs to count for these things because it's not like you wait. It's not like you vote.
Right, but they have different awards for the postseason, though, too. So
Yeah, but no. If you win MVP, you better dominate in the postseason.
again, if they wanted to specify the terminology at the beginning of the year or change it in the off season or something like that, that's different. But as of right now, it is a regular season award.
I don't know. I just think when you look at how Russell Wilson leads the team off the field, on the field. I'm not bashing Lamar Jackson in a sense of his style of play is like bizarre or anything like that. But let's just be honest. We've seen this before.
That shouldn't matter for voting for this year, regardless of what longevity ends up being for Lamar Jackson.
No, I'm not saying the longevity or not. And I even appreciate that this is the first time in NFL history that an African-American quarterback won Rookie of the Year, MVP, and Super Bowl MVP. Pretty cool. The problem is, you could have swapped Russell Wilson and Lamar Jackson and still had that. So it's okay. I get it. He's a sensation. But this is the biggest gripe I have about the whole thing is I really think that the media just consumed us with so much Lamar Jackson this, Lamar Jackson that.
Well, he's new and
the
young.
Voters
That's what
right.
it is. That's
right.
That's any sport, any position, but especially a young quarterback. They're gonna end up doing that.
And I've got and the reason I feel bad, I don't feel bad, but the reason I kind of am annoyed at this is next year, Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Philip Rivers, and all them, they're done, all right, in the MVP conversation unless it's absolutely clear-cut. They're no longer going to vote for them. Russell Wilson is now an afterthought because Pat Mahomes is going to win the next 3 or 4 MVPs. You know why? He's the face of the league. Don't believe me? Drew Brees outperformed Aaron Rodgers. What year was that? 13?
2011.
2011. Drew Brees had one of the greatest seasons we've ever seen, and they gave the MVP to Aaron Rodgers because he was the hot commodity. This is not new. The NFL voters do this all the time. They vote by commodity. They do not vote. For example, Tom Brady was the best player in football. He missed 4 games. Did he win MVP? No. And it's not like the stats looked like he missed 4 games. The stats were clearly this guy played a full season in 12 games while everyone else had 16. He didn't win MVP. He won it the next year. As a sorry we screwed you. I won last year. Peyton Manning won 5. Did he deserve all 5? Probably not. I'm sure there's an argument.
I'm sure he deserved most of them.
Sure, I'll give him 3 definitively.
3, 4. He probably deserved most of them.
No, I'll give him 3 definitively. I have to look at the years he won them and everything else. But, again, I would venture to say he deserved to win not all of them. Favre winning 4. Brett Favre deserved to win all 4 of them. He wasn't the shining star. There was Montana. There was Elway. There was Steve Young. There was a bunch of guys. A bunch of quarterbacks. McNabb, Brady. Trying to think of another young guy. Dante Culpepper. Did anyone even remember Dante Culpepper? Mm-hmm. The list goes on and on and on. But I don't want Russell Wilson to be in this Drew Brees boat of great quarterbacks that people go, he never won an MVP. He stinks. Because that's not true. That's just not the case.
This is the closest he's come because the problem with Russell Wilson in the past has always been the consistency. And when his dud games come, they were really dud games if you look at previous years. There were games he didn't even throw for 150 yards, and he would throw 3 interceptions. And that's what always held him back, but yet he had his great games at the same time. And that's why I always say it's going to be very tough for him to win MVP. But in this kind of year where I thought he had 3 duds, you thought he had 2, whatever. He had a lot of those amazing carried the team kind of games. And the biggest thing for me when you look at it is look at all the close games they won. The Seahawks team won, and a lot of it was him coming from behind. The Bengals game probably shouldn't have been close, but it was. They had to come from behind. The Rams, that was a back and forth game, but I think the Rams pulled away in the third quarter. The Seahawks came back. That was close. The Tampa game, that was close. Panthers was close because the Panthers came back later.
Snugs alert.
But again, a lot of those games were close, and they ended up winning it, and I think that makes a big difference. Plus, not to mention the schedule, like we said earlier, was brutal for the NFC West in general.
Yeah, again, I think Russell Wilson had a much tougher difficulty. So what Suggs wants to know is to throw a wrinkle in the Lamar Jackson MVP situation. Would you be more happy, okay, with him as a running back who threw a few passing touchdowns? Yeah, honestly, and I'm not, but people need to understand this, and this isn't me denigrating or anything like that. Let's just be honest here for 2 seconds. This is the new thing in the NFL. It's a copycat league. You don't believe me? Okay, hold this on, because this to me makes no sense. The Cardinals, stupidly, okay, just imagine the pass rush they would have had with this team. Chandler Jones and Nick Bosa, Patrick Peterson on one side, Budda Baker in the back somewhere, okay? They would have built up their defense. They drafted Kyler Murray instead because he is a running phenom. He's a dual threat, blah, 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 blah. So they trade Josh Rosen, typical pro-type quarterback, tall, vision, the intelligence through the roof. Kyler Murray, I'm not saying Kyler Murray is not intelligent. His intelligence was also highly praised during the draft.
But he was still kind of raw, too, because he only played the 1 year.
Sure, but hold that thought, because so he was drafted based on what? His athleticism, right? Mm-hmm. So explain to me why the Cardinals just signed a CFL quarterback who's Taysom Hill 2.0.
Who was that?
I don't know his name, but I know that they signed a CFL quarterback who is literally identical to Taysom Hill.
Because they saw effectiveness of Taysom Hill and the Cardinals.
But Kyler Murray is Taysom Hill. That's why they drafted him. Because Cliff Kingsbury said, that's what I need.
Right, but odds are if he's a CFL quarterback, he's not going to be a good thrower of the football in the NFL.
Kyler Murray didn't dominate with the football. 20-12. Everyone's been bashing Baker Mayfield all year. Kyler Murray had just about similar numbers as Baker Mayfield.
No, Kyler Murray was phasey, but he's still, I don't think the problem was his arm talent. I don't think he's a basic quarterback. I don't think he's just big arm and not accurate. I think he's sophisticated. I would trust him to throw more than the CFL guy.
All I know is
they just want to add another dimension to the offense because they saw the versatility of a one player could work with New Orleans. I don't think it has anything to do with him.
I'll get you his name right now. Chris Streveler?
No, not a name I recognize.
Streveler. Streve Ealer. Chris Steveler.
No, not a name I recognize.
No,
But again, regardless of who the starting quarterback is, I don't see a problem with having that kind of Taysom Hill invention into your offense that can just move around.
But again, New Orleans doesn't start Taysom Hill because they have Drew freaking Brees. So if you were going to do this, and this is we're getting a little off here, but to me, if you made me trade Josh Rosen to draft a well-rounded quarterback that Taysom Hill might not be, and then you tell me you need me to sign another guy just like the guy you made me just draft, I'm going to look at you a little side-eyed now. Because now I could have kept Rosen, signed this guy, and drafted Nick Bosa and had him with Chandler Jones. Now I'm a little bit mad as a GM because you screwed me. Basically.
I agree, but why would the CFL quarterback correlate with that?
Because you could have, if you needed somebody to run a wildcat, or if you needed somebody to do RPOs and all that nonsense, Kyler Murray was supposed to do that by himself. That's why it makes no sense to have two of those guys. The Saints have Taysom Hill because they don't have two of those guys. They have Breeze, then they have him. Bridgewater's a blend of both, but they got again, made no sense to trade for Teddy Bridgewater. I didn't want them to trade for Teddy Bridgewater because Breeze and Hill were fine. Nobody gave a rip, okay, what I think. So they did it anyway. That's fine. Go do it. Whatever. New Orleans is going to bring back Taysom Hill. Not worried about that at all.
But as a future quarterback, right, or for what he is.
They are letting Teddy Bridgewater go, and they're going to sign Hill, to back up Breeze. The only way, I hate to tell you this, they're only bringing back two of the three. And this is where, the argument gets a little whatever. If Breeze retires, they're bringing Bridgewater to start, Hill to back him up. If Breeze returns, they're bringing back Hill to back him up. If Taysom Hill signs, they might panic and overpay Bridgewater to back up Breeze. I'm telling you now, though, 90% Breeze, Hill will be the quarterback combination for New Orleans next year, depending on what Breeze decides. I think Drew Brees will be back next year. I think that he felt that wrath of losing that home game, and that's fine. We got 7 minutes left.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to come back on or retire on the terms that the Saints have been just hit with every year.
Right. I got to be honest with you, though. I don't really know where I was going with that. I kind of just lost track completely. But
you were trying to say how teams are trendy, I think, is more of what you were getting at.
No. So, yeah, you look at trends, right? The quarterback, and this is what I keep telling guys, and this is why I tried to explain to Putsy for so long. Oh, by the way, Snugs, Putsy is Mike Guido's nickname. Like, if you have to, it's Putz. P-U-T-Z. Putz. If you want to be cute, it's P-U-T-Z-Y, Putsy. So, or I-E. I'm open to both. So,
JJ Putz is deeply offended.
Well, if you would have not saved a couple of big games in the Bronx, I would have probably not included you in that, but that's fine. But I know right now everyone's going, my team needs a quarterback. The quarterback carousel this offseason is going to be huge. The offseason's coming. The problem in the NFL is that everyone looks at the same thing. They look at, oh, here we are and here we are. I actually remember where I was going with this. Thank you, Speedy. So, the quarterback position as a whole is no longer going to be what you think it is. This happens to every league. Look at baseball. 100 years ago, you had to throw 3,000 innings or your team was not winning a baseball game. You threw every day 8, 9 innings or 12 innings, whatever it was. Now, you got to throw 3 innings.
Throw as hard as you can and strike guys out. And don't, again, I guess just let up on certain pitches. But still, again, have multiple pitches you can throw. Spin rate, velocity, anything like that.
Correct. Pitching in baseball has dramatically shifted. Dramatically. Just look at where the NFL was originally. This is not new that the NFL has quarterbacks running around. Johnny Unitas, Earl tells you all the time, he was the first mobile guy. Then there was Fran Tarkington. Then there were guys in between, but the next big one to me is either Randall Cunningham or Steve Young. Warren Moon.
So, yeah.
Moon. Young. I just said his name. Why can't I remember? Cunningham.
Yeah.
Theismann would have been if Lawrence Taylor didn't snap his leg in half.
Right.
And then there were guys that trickled in that could have done it. But then here comes this guy from Tennessee, this guy from Michigan, and this guy from Purdue that made you go, oh, my God, wait a minute. We can have offenses now over the top. So now Big Ben, Phillip Rivers coming in, and Eli. And so now you got these athletic. Donovan McNabb was in the league. Culpepper was too. But now you get these guys that are able to throw the ball deep downfield. And, okay, there's busts. Jamarcus Russell came up.
Yeah.
But the biggest guy that became the global trend was who? Michael Vick. Because he was different. He was the guy that kind of didn't Favre, Elway, they didn't run around like that. The favorite clip I ever saw watch was Michael Vick beating the Vikings in overtime, and he made 2 Vikings tackle each other. That to me is holy crap.
And that is the origin of how Tyler hated the Vikings.
Oh, well, maybe. I have no idea. But I don't know why I hate the Vikings. I just can't stand them.
Well, yeah, recently now you have a reason to, but I'm just saying.
Oh, 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
I'm sick. But yeah, it's just one of those things where this isn't new. It dies out. It phases. It adapts. You don't believe me? Look at the NBA. There's no need for a point guard anymore. The point guard does not exist. Centers do not exist. You are either shooting or you're moving the basketball as a team. And if you can't shoot outside of 20 feet, you're not playing the game. You're not playing. That's just the reality of it. Yeah, there'll be specialists. Yes, there'll be defensive specialists. Yeah, there'll be rim protectors. They'll play minimal minutes. Minimal. Like, the NBA has completely overhauled. Pete Maravich was jacking up threes in college where Steph Curry knocks him down now. You know why he's not the greatest individual scorer in NCAA history? They didn't have a three-point line. There was none. He's the reason they put it in.
Didn't they put it in the 80s, though?
I think he got drafted in the early 70s.
Oh, I thought he was earlier than that.
Go ahead. Stat check me. It's fun.
Let's see. 1970 to 1980. Okay. 1970 to 1980. I think the three-point line came in 84, if I remember correctly.
Thank you.
All right.
You believe me yet?
No, I know. For some reason I thought he started like 65 or something like that.
Anyway, all I know is trends come and go. Steph Curry eliminated a position for life. Ball movement is back now. ISO is gone. Don't believe me? Carmelo Anthony wasn't unemployed for like 13 months because he cannot pass the ball or play defense. But, put in the work. He has a job now and everything like that. Just remember that football's headed towards now where the quarterback has to get yards. It's not going to be passing plays. There are going to be plays where you have to make the decision on if you're going to get 5 yards with your feet or 20 with your leg. 20 with your arm, and, you're able to complete that pass. That's where we're headed in society now. But that's all the time we have here for today. Tomorrow will be the special show with Josh and Jordan. I'm sorry, Josh and Eric. Sorry. But, Speedy, tell them where they can find us.
Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, on our website at worldwidesportsradio.com. Trying to get dizzy over there?
No, I'm trying not to pee on air.
Oh. And we are one of only
16
sports radio networks and podcasts on radio.com.
Beautifully done. We'll be back tomorrow, 8 to 9. We have a huge meeting. It's going to be friggin' wonderful. We'll be back 8 to 10, where I will do the NFL offseason thing that I've been talking about for so long. Speedy, tell them goodbye.
Thanks for listening, and have a glorious night.
I've taught him everything. Anyway, thank you, Snugs, for calling in. Thank you for whoever's trying to call in but couldn't. Thank you for all the people that have helped me be here for 2 years. Errol and Mike C., more specifically Mike Guido, for dragging me here. And, everyone for watching, I guess, and my girlfriend for letting me do it. Wife, girlfriend, sorry. We'll be back tomorrow, 8 p.m. with Josh and Eric. Have a wonderful night. See ya. Mamba out.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.